Hi guys, I'm Delia from A Few Grey Hairs, and I'm sitting here with Lexi McCloof and her gorgeous Bonnie guard dog. If you were able to watch the first part of this video, you would have seen how we washed and prepared Lexi's wig for her. And one of the reasons that Lexi actually asked me to do it for her was just to go through how to remove the frizziness of her European hair wig. So it's awesome. Thank you for being here. How are you finding having your Hairs of Love wig, by the way?
I completely love it. I love the length. It just, it makes me feel more feminine. And even when I did have more of my own hair, it never grew to that length. So I'm loving it.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that, Lex. So what I've got here for you is a polystyrene head that we sell for 70 Rand. And we've got this clamp, which has a nice generous portion, let's see, that you can put onto any surface so that you can travel with this when you do, and that you can actually continue your styling at home. So Lexi takes very good care of her wigs. But it's nice that she's here today just to be able to go through the styling. So when you do put your wig onto a head, you always make sure that it's on straight and that the ear flaps are level, and you're using a T-pin to be able to push it through the slightly thicker parts of the wig, so that you're not putting the pins through the lace. As we saw in the video previously to this in the part 1, that Liz is working with hair by hair when she's hair knotting. And they are delicate items, so being gentle with it is important, which I know you are. So when you start at the back, you're going to I prefer to just work with the fingers and use your fingers as a comb and section the hair going vertically, step by step, staggering, going up. Now, the real reason and the answer to why your hair you're finding to be too frizzy is that you can only rely on the plates of your flat iron to penetrate through this hair and underneath and marry in between and make sure that that is hot enough, using enough tension to squeeze the frizz out of the hair. So there's a few things that can go wrong there. First of all, you can be using too wide a section, or otherwise your flat iron is not hot enough. So this is 100% European hair that has been donated to Lexi through the Kingsmead Girls College, as well as the King David Girls at Victory Park in Johannesburg. And so this is virgin hair. It hasn't been colored, and it is in a perfect state to be able to take some heat. So in your particular case, Lex, you'd be able to use a nice hot flat iron, even going up to 220. Now, that's really hot if you consider that we cook a chicken at 180. So you would make sure that wherever you put the flat iron down, that it's not on a surface that can burn, and that you hopefully do buy a flat iron that has a thermostat, so that if you do find that suddenly you change your hair color and you have a blonde wig, then you would use that a cooler heat on a blonde wig, because that hair has been processed. So it's no longer in its virgin state where it's very strong. So taken section by section, using a nice heat-resistant comb, so not a soft plastic, but a very strong plastic comb, you then pick your flat iron up and put it right next to the base of the material, and you're going to bring it straight down. So you're not angling it out, Lex, at a 45-degree or even 90. It must come straight down, as if you're dropping your comb straight to the floor. And this is important, because how we make a wig is we turn the hair back, and the turn back has a very small little piece of hair that's lying right next to the long hair. And if you're pulling it out, or if you've got a little bit of root lift, that short hair is going to create height and a bump for you. And it's going to make your root area too big. And also it might stick out. So I happened to flat iron this previously to you arriving, so that you would work in panels, legs, all the way through to the top. Working slowly, slowly, steadily. Now, when we work with any hair on a wig, you try and do the flat iron only once. Because this hair is extremely easily charged through static, it carries a positive and a negative charge. And dust also carries a positive and negative charge. So not only do we not want to brush it to create that static, but you also want to always store it in your wig box. And I know that you're collecting your wig box today. So a wig box looks something like this, guys, for those of you watching this video. It has a stand inside. So I'm going to put this inside Lexi's wig box when she's finished, when I'm finished. So not too much combing. And when you do flat iron it, you only pull it through once. So you try and find a section where it's the same width as your plates. So it's more a feeling. And that width is roughly around about 6 centimeters wide. And you run the flat iron in a downward direction towards the floor in a very slow motion. And the comb, Lexi, is running about 1 centimeter in front of the flat iron. So it goes right the way down, and the comb is supporting the flat iron so that you get a one-time flat iron. You don't pull and pull, because that's only going to dry out the hair. Remember that it isn't attached to your head, so it's attached to a base. So the natural serum that your body produces through the sebaceous gland on your head is not getting to the hair. So we try and flat iron it once, and also then it doesn't get, you don't have to apply a styling aid or a heat protector, because of the fact that you're going to be washing it once a week, and any heat protector, any product on here at all is only going to attract more dust.
So with the only going down once with the iron and not drying it out, it probably wouldn't get as knotty.
Yes, yes. So I think what's happening with your knottiness is that when you are flat ironing, some of the hair in between is remaining unstraight, and that unstraightness is actually what's creating an unnecessary knot for you. And you know, the European hair, its main strength is that it is so slippery, it is so soft, but definitely being quite thorough and working small sections is really important.
And would it be worth once a month doing some kind of treatment on the hair, or isn't that not necessary?
Certainly, certainly, because it isn't receiving anything through the natural body. You know, hair damages them mostly through sleep. It's at that time the friction and the heat of the body is what's actually causing the damage. And it's not necessarily the shampooing and so on. Now, because you're not sleeping, and we don't advise people to sleep in their wigs, you don't cause the damage, that heat and friction. But still, a treatment, and only applying the treatment, Lexi, so you would do your wash as we saw in the previous video, and then you would apply your treatment section by section, starting from the bottom, only from the what we call middle lengths to the ends. So you're not getting the treatment where Liz and I have attached the hair to the base, as that can weaken that attachment and the hair can fall out. As we established already, the shampoo is for the base, the conditioner and treatment are for the ends of the hair. So once you work your way all the way around, you can often get these little flyaway hairs at the top. And the best way to be able to prevent that from happening is to heat the section up, because we give the hair the instruction from heating it up. And then you cool it down with a clip that gets slid in. I'm going to do it this way here and explain to you, Lex. So I'm sliding this clip right in next to the head, and I'm attaching it to the base of the material. So we're going under the material and on top of the hair to try and really get it to come down. I find if you put it just through the hair and you don't put it through the material, it slightly lifts away from the fabric. And then you would leave it like that in your box until you're ready to wear it. You can always use a tiny bit of hairspray to be able to hold that down as well. And it really is as easy as that. And I know you know that. I was just...
What if Alexi wants to have a comb?
Okay, so let's go through that. Instead of working legs in horizontal sections, you're going to work in slices down the head. I'm going to work from there. So you would pick up, instead of your finger width, going from the base of the wig all the way up to the top, you're going to work with your finger width, working around the wig, as if you were cutting it a slice of cake. Does that make sense? So then you're going to pick the hair up, and the flat iron goes right next to the scalp, and immediately, Lexi, you turn it in a half circle, and you slowly, slowly, slowly pull that hair through to the ends. And the comb is supporting the hair to make sure that that goes all the way through to the ends. That there has given you a particularly good one. Oh, you know what the problem is here? Why it's not giving such a beautiful curl is it's already had a straighten. Okay. So you would put your curl in first. You wouldn't straighten it and then curl it. So this is quite a good example of how elasticity. So this hair has a little elastic coil. All hair has this coil running on the inside. And that coil can only take so many instructions. It's a little bit like us. You overwork us and we collapse.
And then so it's almost resets every time you wash it.
Yes, it resets. So that the water, good question, the H2O, the hydrogen and the oxygen goes into the shaft of the hair and resets it, reboots it. So let's have a look now, Lex, at how you attach your wig. There are different methods. So, oops, goodness. I'll leave those on the floor. There is a pink tape which can be used for everyday wear. And because you have a full head of hair, it isn't ideal to use tape. But if you were using just a normal day-to-day wear, this pink tape is really fantastic. And it works out to be 160 Rand a packet. And there's quite a lot in the packet. But if, for example, you were going to be doing some skydiving or some water, swimming in the sea and so on, you would then be wearing this blue tape. It's a much stronger tape, and your wig will stay on beautifully with that. Then the other option is a roll-on body adhesive, and this is very much the same as a deodorant roll-on. It has a little ball where you would then apply it. So you would apply it across the front section where you're going to be putting your lace straight on. Should I do it for you? Would you like me to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is brand new, so it just needs a little bit of work to get going. So you would just take it and you would work it into the front area where your wig is going to be.
Would I have to, if I use this every day, would I have to wash the wig more often?
No, the remover is actually fantastic. You spray it on and it comes straight off, as well as has no residue. So I think, go. Let's remove these clips. This one for you. So you do have clips on the inside of this. This is why the roll-on would only be used in the very, very front, as well as coming down here. Do you want to take your glasses off, Lex, just a little bit? Thank you. It's a little bit new, so it's a bit sort of stiff. There you go, you can pop your glasses back on again. Alright, so Lex, very important that this placement is not moved around too much, like any glue doesn't like to be moved. I don't actually have a mirror in front of me, which is not ideal. It's amazing how when you do something with a mirror all the time, you don't have one. I'm going to give you a mirror, Lex. I can't actually work without one. How funny. There you go.
Is that okay?
Yes, that's perfect. So once it's in place and you're happy, you're going to lift the hair, because we don't want to stick the hair down, and you're just going to run your fingers across the lace part. And down the sides, where we know that we worked. It's a feeling, really. Straight away, stuck. There you go. Thanks very much, Lex. I'll take that. So as easy as that, that lace is flush, flush, flush with your scalp. Wow, you look amazing. Thank you. And were there any other questions that you had?
I think you've answered all of them.
No, that's good. That's good. So Lex, here is your wig box, and it has stands that goes on the inside. I'm just looking for that. Goodness, it's over there. Let me just put that here. I'm just going to put that over there. Just give me a second. Here's the stand. So it's nice and light, Lex, and that the polystyrene head will then go onto this stick, and you'll be able to drop it on the inside of the actual wig box and travel with that to and fro wherever it is that you're going. And then in the evenings, it's important to put it in here so that there is no dust that actually lands up on your wig. And then these boxes, Lex, the tall one that you would be having is 500 Rand. And then a lot of women choose a shorter box because they don't have the long hair. And then that one there is 400 Rand. And yeah, I wanted to, Lex, while you're here, finish off, because in the previous video, we had the clip-in extensions. Which just wanted to go through with the flat ironing, and you would do exactly the same way if you were making use of the clip-ins. So as your hair, Lex, has started, it comes and goes with its growth. You might even one day choose to have clip-in extensions like this, which is also made from European hair, and use it in combination with a little closure that you saw the other day during the washing video. And then lastly, we have got over here, this is called a halo. And these halos can be made in any thickness. And this is also lovely. It has a piece of gut across the top, and it slips onto the back of the head. And by these little bits of gut, you pull your own hair through. And you can have different thicknesses of this. This is a really nice way for the young girls to be able to have an extension, or, you know, for dancers and so on. So yeah, the most amount of hair that we have on them work out to be 5,000 Rand. And that's for our labor. And as you know, the hair that we get from the girls is given from love and received from love. So we just really charge for our labour.
It's amazing.
Okay, well, I think
I do have one last question. I don't know if it would be relevant to everyone, but I was wondering I would like to tie it up in a high pony.
yes.
And I don't know if that's too complicated or still, you did explain once, but I'm just not sure.
Yes, yeah. That's a very good question. Wigs have limitations. So the limitations are that we have a base that we need to hide. Hey, Bonnie. So for example, that halo and the closure would be a very good choice for when you wear your hair up. So, because what we want when you wear your hair up is all this hair in the nape of the neck to be obviously exposed. And because you do have some hair, even though it has been quite badly affected from your autoimmune disease, you would be able to use that to be able to support wearing your hair up. So a wig is tricky. There's too many chances where that can be exposed.
So the best option is to get the halo.
The halo would be another, and the nice thing is you can have, and I was saying to Liz, one can have a wardrobe of hair, and that's really what you should do, ideally. You should have a halo, you should have a closure, you should have a few clip-in extensions, and obviously a wig like what you have is just lovely. But then you can achieve all the different hairstyles. So guys, sorry that Liz was not here with us today. She has a cold and wasn't able to participate, but we hope that you will find this video helpful, and and we hope that we hear from you. Bye.